Hi, today I just wanted to vlog about my experience going to a party on, I can't remember what day it is today. It's Monday today. Saturday evening I went to a party and there wasn't an opportunity for me to do any vlogging then and there. But I think the important point that I really want to make here is that whatever situations you're finding tricky in the beginning when you're sober, just get easier and easier and easier as time progresses. A year or so ago, I could never have imagined going to a party sober and enjoying myself. And in fact, even now, parties are not something I really look forward to. I prefer kind of smaller, more intimate groups of people where you can have more deep and meaningful conversations rather than a kind of big group of people. Where I tend to feel a bit kind of dwarfed and a bit insecure and a bit out of my depth when there's lots and lots of people around and I don't know them. I have to make a real effort to kind of come out of myself and go out there and talk to people. So myself and my boyfriend went to this barbecue at a friend of ours on Saturday night. And I guess what I want to vlog about is just the experience of doing it sober when drink is no longer an issue. So whereas in the early days, I would have gone and I would have been looking at other people drinking, I would have been watching what they were doing, I'd have been looking with envy, feeling like I was missing out as I was watching other people drink their G&Ts and their wines and their beers, and watching the measurements get larger and larger and larger as the evening progressed, and watching people get merrier and watching people become more uninhibited. In the early days of my sobriety, watching all of that happen, I would have felt envious and I would have been clocking it. I can honestly say that the difference on Saturday night was I'm not watching any of that at all. I'm not noticing it. I'm aware of it, but it's not the focus of my attention. So we were going to this barbecue. I wasn't looking forward to it because they're kind of friends of friends, and I didn't really know anyone, and I didn't feel like I had anything in common with anyone. And I was kind of making myself go for my boyfriend's sake. And I really wasn't looking forward to it. I couldn't really imagine enjoying myself. I went and I just had a really good time. It's really weird. I was talking to people, I was chatting to people, I was mingling. It was like a kind of side of me that I'm not often in contact with, a part of me, a really gregarious, outgoing, social part of me kind of took over. It was kind of, I became this persona, this really outgoing person. I mean, I guess for the first half an hour to an hour, I was reserved and a bit shy and just kind of checking things out, sussing out who was there, who was who, where people were in relation to one another, who did I know, who didn't I know. And after that first kind of half an hour to an hour or so, I kind of relaxed into it, started talking to one group of people, then saw some other people that I knew a little bit and went over and talked to them. I just became this person that I know I am, that I have that side of me. And when I used to drink, I guess that side of me would come out a lot more quickly, but then it wouldn't last very long before it kind of tumbled down into becoming a person that I didn't really want to be. So I'd start, when I was drinking, I would start by being this gregarious, outgoing, sociable, humorous, witty person, and then that would quickly disintegrate into me being too drunk and actually being annoying, irritating, and that pissed woman, and thinking that I was being really funny and engaging and interesting and rebellious, and but actually just being a complete twat. So there was none of that. It was just, I guess, this being sober and not having the drink interfering. Once you get through the initial stage of maybe feeling a little bit uncomfortable or a little bit shy, and once you've kind of settled into it, being sober actually allows that part of you to kind of come out. And although I'd initially gone and I'd said to my boyfriend, look, let's just go for a couple of hours and let's come away. We got there about, I would guess, about 8 o'clock, and we left about midnight. The whole thing sort of finished. I guess it went. Well, I don't actually know what time it went on till, but I'd imagined that it finished sort of about 1 o'clock in the morning. We left about midnight, and I was really buzzing in the car on the way home. I was chatting to my other half who had been drinking about, spoke to so-and-so, it was really good. Went to bed, and I was still sort of buzzing on a natural high from the party, and so couldn't sleep, so had to read for an hour or so before I could actually sleep. And then, of course, the other beauty of attending these events sober is that I woke up on Sunday morning refreshed, clean, with it, firing on all cylinders. We had a lunch to go to. We were meeting some people we don't actually know. We were going to meet them for the first time and have some lunch with them and go for a walk. And again, that's the kind of social situation that makes me slightly uncomfortable. So if I'd gone into that with a hangover, I would have had to have, I would have told myself I would have had to have had a drink then at the lunch in order to relax, in order to feel better, and in order to get through the day. Whereas what actually happened yesterday, the Sunday, the morning after the party before, was I felt fresh. Yes, I felt a little bit nervous, felt a little bit of anxiety, but as soon as I got there, got chatting, again, that part of me, the sociable, gregarious part, which I'd sort of forgotten existed, came out, and I was chatting to the hosts, and I was chatting to their friends. We got introduced to their neighbours, and just chatted to everybody, and we went for a lovely sociable walk. And it was really a kind of quiet, peaceful enjoyment. It's kind of like when you're appreciating the simple things in life. Like in the UK, obviously the sun doesn't shine very often, and it was a sunny day. So walking around little country tracks and paths, chatting to people with the sun glinting through the trees, it was that kind of quiet appreciation of really, really simple things, free things, natural things, and connecting with people and getting to know people. And again, coming home yesterday evening after this walk and after having met these people, we were both just really quietly happy and content. And I guess that contrasts with how I was when I was drinking. When I was drinking, everything was kind of high octane. Everything was either high, or low. And it was kind of looking for drama, and then looking for the come down. Whereas now, everything's much more balanced. There's less drama, there's less ups and downs, and there's just much more of a quiet appreciation. I guess maturity, maybe? It seems, mature seems to be the right word, but it seems like a mature, quiet appreciation of life. Things are settled, things are peaceful. Yeah, and it just feels good. It feels great to have gone to a party, to have not even thought about alcohol. People are offering me drinks, people are behind the bar and they're saying, I'm handing out bottles of vodka, gin, spiced rum, as well as all of the wines. In the past, my God, I would have had a field day. My eyes would have lit up and I would have been like, oh yeah, I'll have some Sailor Jerry spiced rum with some Coke, yeah. And the measures would have got bigger and bigger. By the end of the night, I literally would have been in a corner somewhere, not knowing who I was or where I was or what I was doing, and then being carried home and then not remembering anything the next day. And this is just completely the opposite of that. And so the point I really want to make is, wherever you are on your journey into becoming sober and ditching the alcohol, in the early days, your focus is very much on, my focus was very much on what I was missing out on. And actually, when you can flip that and you turn it on its head and you look at what you're gaining, you can look into the future and know that what you're gaining is so much more. Because what I gained Saturday night at the barbecue, at the party, was I gained so much. I gained a connection with other people. I engaged with that more outgoing, gregarious part of myself. I reminded myself that there is that part of me there. I gained a natural buzz, a natural high. I was kind of flitting about, chatting to people. Even towards the end of the evening, started kind of making jokes and quips, and I would say the word flirtatious, but it wasn't really flirtatious. It was just kind of enjoyment, and kind of verbally sparring with people. I gained a connection with my boyfriend, which I wouldn't have otherwise had. I gained a fresh head and a happy outlook the following morning. And I also gained a full and fulfilled day the following day. I gained so much by not drinking, that if you can hold on to that thought and realise that what you're doing by not drinking is gaining so much more, and you realise this the following morning when you wake up and you haven't got a hangover, that's one solid thing that you've gained. You might even gain some enjoyment in the night. But those first few 30 minutes, or that first 60 minutes or so, when you go to an event sober, and it's a bit of a chore because you're having to focus on not drinking and having to think about what you're going to do instead of drinking, and you're focusing on either the drinking or the not drinking and who's drinking and what are they drinking and what you would have done before. In time, that all just goes, and you're no longer consciously thinking about that. You're just in the moment, and you're just enjoying yourself in whatever quiet, loud, fast, slow way you're enjoying yourself. So really, really important to hold on to that if you're in the early stages of your sobriety or of being sober, you might be kind of thinking that you're depriving yourself of something, you're missing out on something, and really you're not. You are gaining so much more. You're making a choice, and the choice is to gain more of your own life, more of yourself back, more of rediscovering those parts of you that the drink has been kind of hiding from you. So the message is, stick with it wherever you are on the journey, wherever you are in your road to sobriety and to being sober. Stick with it, because it gets better and better and better. And here we are on a Monday morning. Again, the sun is kind of shining faintly through the clouds here in the East Anglian part of the UK. And I'm about to go off to work. I'm about to do a couple of meetings, and yeah, firing on all cylinders, feeling bright and breezy, and the world is my oyster. And this too can be you when you stick with being sober. Okay guys, let's go get sober.